Okay, today's lecture, as you probably know, is about manifestos. I bumped into someone in the corridor who we named us, who knows who she is, and I said, the lecture is going to be on manifestos. And she said, what's a manifesto? I've asked an interesting question. I assumed that the word manifesto was something that we all understood. And that was my understanding of it. Can anybody tell me, off the top of their head, what they think, or what they now know, because they've done some research on it, what a manifesto is? Be brave, you know, there's no wrong answers here. What's a manifesto? It's a declaration of intentions. Yeah? So, in your case, what we're going to ask you to do, what I'm going to ask you to do, in the middle, or actually possibly at the beginning of your magazine, blog, film, wherever you want it to be the end, it could be the middle, wherever you decide it might be the most appropriate place, you will produce your own manifesto. A manifesto about essentially what you believe in. What you believe in your design world, possibly, what you believe in your political world, what you believe in your personal world. It's about your beliefs, your passions, what you really want to do in life. What I've done in front of you, give you a piece of paper called a manifesto, the cult of done manifesto. Now, it's not just a piece of paper you throw away. I don't want to see any of these left behind, because that means that somehow you haven't felt this is important. You need to read it. You need to think about it. I'll show you a link by a graphic designer. Someone's then redesigned this manifesto in terms of like a piece of information graphics. So initially, we'll do a little session halfway through this lecture on writing a manifesto. Initially, it might be a series of words, a series of thoughts, a series of ideas. I believe in. I want. The world should be like. Yeah? We're not going to be Miss World, though. We won't be too general. I want love and peace. Love and peace around the world. Something about you. What do you want? What do you feel about the world? So, this is what this lecture is about. It's manifestos. I think it's very important that all of you have an idea, have a voice about what you want to do in life. Now you may disagree with me, say, I just want to muddle along and do things. That's fine. Perhaps you have a muddling along manifesto. I like muddling along, bumping into things, seeing what happens, like things. That's fine. Think about what you actually do and what you like. So to do so, you have to do some thought about it. In the end, your manifesto, I say, might be a piece of graphics, might be a piece of film, and I'll show you something about some films where people have done stuff with their manifestos on that. They're quite tricky, and they change. I suspect when I was your age, my manifesto would be, I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to do it now. And of course I did. My own little way. I realised that sometimes you have to do small things to change the world in small ways. You can't create a revolution in your bedroom. Or some people sort of sing about that sort of thing. Okay, let's just start. The wonderful world of Twitter sent me this, which you just said, what a wonderful way to start. So I thought this is quite a nice way to start a conversation about manifestos, which says, be the type of person you want to meet. It's not necessarily a manifesto, it's a statement of someone. So it sums something up very, very succinctly. Take a leaflet, just there. Just there, that one. Laugh at perfection, it says. Banish procrastination. Does anybody know what the word procrastination means? Yes. We're all very good at procrastination. Procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it in the weekend. I'll do it after Easter. I won't do Mark's thing now. I've got more important things to do. Oh no, I've got 20 things do after Easter. Procrastination is a thing we all slip into. I do it all the time. I have a coffee, I decide I'm going to play another game on my iPhone, I can do this, and I can do that, and suddenly go, I'm too tired now, I think I might go to bed. Whereas if I started it, I might not have to do it so rushed this morning. So, the manifestos are done is something you should read and have a look at. Start thinking. Yeah, start thinking about what would my first line of my manifesto be. Pick up a leaflet, please. Okay. So some of you, before this lecture, haven't procrastinated. Have sort of thought, well, what's the lecture going to be about tomorrow? It's going to be about manifestos, and I'm going to find the definition of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to say, this person, Zach Sumner, at artmadness.com, has summed up a manifesto. I thought, well, why not use what he says? It seems quite relevant. So the word manifesto traces its roots from the Latin manifestum, which means clear or conspicuous. So it's a clear statement of what I believe in. As designers, it's very important that you're good communicators. So this manifesto shouldn't be hours and hours and hours and pages of waffle about something or other. It should be quite succinct, clear, and conspicuous. A manifesto is a definition as a declaration of one's beliefs, opinions, motives, and intentions. It's simply a document that an organisation or person writes that declares what is important to them. So, the first thing I do when I get a statement like that, I put it down. I go, okay, what's the most important thing about that statement? The thing right at the end. What is important to you? And if the person is here, I ask, what did he like last week? And he said, I like food. And I said, well, we all like food in some way, or we have some relationship with food in some senses. But we all don't like food. But we should like graphic design, or we should like 3D design, we should like animation, we should like something. Yeah? So a manifesto functions both as a statement of principles. How do I define myself? Yeah? And a bold, sometimes rebellious, and I'm expecting some sort of rebellious statement, please. Not, oh, isn't the life nice, life is lovely, everything should be flowery, whatever. You should be rebellious in it. Yeah? A call to action. What do you want your design to do in life? Do you just want to sit there in something called a skunk work, stand at Canary Wharf, moving bits around in a factory, creating another Toy Story that's not being created? What do you want to be? So, you all got some beliefs in your head. What is the gap between what you believe in, what you want, and what is actually happening? So it may be, I want type of manifesto. Or it might be, it should be type of manifesto. You may notice what I've just done there, not in a particularly rhetorical and interesting way, is to repeat myself. Repetition is often a very good way of getting a point across. You may see politicians do it all the time, and I'll show you a very, very good piece of repetition in a minute. Okay. The manifesto challenges assumptions, fosters commitment, and provokes change. Now, again, your manifesto might not change the world, but might change you and your thoughts. So to me, it's a very important thing right at the beginning of your design careers to create your own manifesto. It may be short, it may be long, it may be pictorial, it may be as a film, it may be silly, it may be funny, it may be all of those things. It's entirely up to you. So you might want to think about, for 2 minutes, your first line of your manifesto. Let's see if we can write your first line of your manifesto. Just try and think, just very briefly, what your first line of your manifesto. I'll give you 2 minutes to think about I.